The dogs get fed first, of course, and then we go out to feed the chickens. We have a little conversation in the morning. I say good morning to them, and it kind of starts the day. If it's cold out, I tell them, oh, it's so cold outside, or oh, look, it's a beautiful sunny day, and start singing, zippity-doo-dah. It's just me and my dogs and the cat and the chickens. Beautiful way to start my day. I'm Eve, and we are here in my home and here with my dog, Cruz. When it came time to decide what I was going to do once I graduated high school, I really didn't know. I didn't come from a family that spoke about college. My brother had joined the Marine Corps a year before I graduated high school, and I thought, well, I could do that. So I did. I joined the delayed entry program 6 months before I went to boot camp. My brother was not very happy about it. He said it wasn't a place for me. I was really glad to do that, but I was 17 when I went in the Marine Corps. And at that age, I think even now, my mother had to sign for me to go because I wasn't 18. And I did not turn 18 until after I graduated boot camp. I didn't really know much about it, of course, right? In the Marine Corps, even less for women. I felt at the time I really wanted some discipline in my life, to focus on something better. It was very scary for sure. I got on the plane, never been on a plane in my life. I thought it was great being the first woman that joined the military from my family. As far back as I know in my history, no other women have served in my family. And especially in the Marine Corps, such an elite, small group anyway, having women serve in that is huge. So I went in and I became, in the Marine Corps, admin supply. That was my MOS, military occupational specialty. My first duty station was in Okinawa, Japan, and we had an office and a warehouse where we kept supplies for everything. We put these blocks together, and they're full of what we were doing with medical supplies to get loaded onto the ships. That's where I got injured. Unfortunately, I was on a forklift on the forks, and I was pulling out some gear, and I slipped off when I was pulling out the gear. It eventually became something that was a constant irritant, and no matter what you're doing, no matter how bad you feel, you have to push through it. Before my back injury, I could certainly do anything I wanted to. I learned how to rock climb, scuba dive, do all those things, and then as the years started making the pain worse, I couldn't pick things up off the floor. I really just didn't understand what was going on. I was having a very difficult time getting around, doing things, and wanting to be in crowds. I was worried if I get bumped, I'd fall, I wouldn't be able to get back up. Often it can be just being out in the civilian world where it's not regimented, it's not structured. There's a lot of feelings out there. That's not the same as being in the military. Back then, there really wasn't any kind of transition going from that to civilian life. Also, a few years I had been diagnosed with breast cancer in 2017. Part of the difficulty in that is asking for help, which I did not. You start to believe that it's not important to be seen. I actually had a doctor at the VA recommend Freedom Service dogs. I thought, okay, I'll go check it out, and I should at least stop, go in and get a couple of brochures, see what they're about, see if it's anything that would be helpful. So I went in. I said, I don't really need to speak to anyone. I just need a couple brochures and I can leave. They're like, no, let me get someone for you. I'm like, okay. Her and I ended up speaking for about an hour and a half. I had not planned to be there longer than 5 minutes. She started telling me what these service dogs do for people on so many different levels, for their mental health, for their PTSD, for their mobility, for crowds, for everything. She said, go home, get online, apply for it. So I did. I get a call in November and he says, we may have a dog for you. And they brought Cruz in, and I know he gets excited. They all do, all the dogs there, but he came right up to me and jumped on my lap. When I met Cruz, They knew he was my dog. They knew he was made for me. I just couldn't believe it. I love dogs for sure. I've always had dogs, but this was different. The first day of class, I was not going to go into the class. I know this happens with a lot of veterans. We feel not deserving. And, sorry, I really felt that way. I felt that, that my injury wasn't important enough because I still had all my body parts. I hadn't been in any kind of campaigns or wars or fighting any battles out there like some of my other fellow Marines did. Lost their lives or limbs, and way more than that. So I got there early for class and I sat outside for 30 minutes before I decided to go in. It was really tough because, right, it's tough to admit you need help. And then I met these people at Freedom Service Dogs who are incredible. Freedom Service Dogs threw me a lifeline, and Cruz gives me a life every day. And by that, giving me a life every day is that he makes me feel like I need to get up in the morning and live a life instead of not, instead of taking my life. Having Cruz, though, as my service dog and going through the classes and having the support of Freedom Service Dogs allows me to know that those things are okay, that we as veterans are deserving of care, no matter where it comes from, no matter when you served or what you have. And it's been a long time since I was in the Marine Corps. It's still there, it's still in my heart, it's still in my head, it's all a part of me. Just like Cruz's training will never go away. For me, that's what Cruz provides. When I graduated from my class, I was given a Quilts of Valor quilt for myself and for Cruz. And the Quilts of Valor are nationwide. They're an amazing group, make these quilts for veterans and Gold Star families. And I was honored to get that. I found out that that didn't happen anymore for the Freedom Service Dog veterans. So the first class I was going to, there were 6 veterans. And I'm not this great sewer, but I'm trying to become one. And I decided, well, I can make these quilts. It's a place blanket that Cruz is on so that you can throw it on the floor so your dog has somewhere to be at your office or wherever you are. Going to talk to this class was an honor for me. I, at this day, will do anything they ask. Freedom Service Dog says, would you like to do this? Yes, I'm happy to do it because I get to talk to other veterans. I get to let them know how important they are and how, if a service dog can help them, how much they need to take a step in that door and talk to somebody, because that's my give back. I want to say thank you to everyone at Freedom Service Dogs from the very start. The puppy raisers, everyone in the nursery, the volunteers, the foster families. Their kindness it's far beyond anything I thought I would be a part of. I actually got to go to a hockey game and I thought, wow, now look at where we are. I'm in front of thousands of people. I started hearing my story. Oh my gosh, that's me. I thought if I was hearing that about someone else, I would be like, yes, look at your success, look what you're doing. So I'm hoping that when people see those things and see me out there in a big arena on the ice or in a small venue of any kind, in the classroom where I meet 5 or 6 veterans, I hope that makes a difference.